Hello, hello. Welcome to the Web3 Enabler Real World Blockchain Podcast. I'm here with Stefano Dasaro. He is the CEO of Forklift Certified. Hello, Stefano.
Hi, Zoe. I'm so glad to be here.
So, tell me a little bit about how blockchain technology can enhance the lives of service workers.
You know, this is my favorite conversation, really, because coming from the trade industry myself, I have so much experience with my own business and then also the businesses of my clients who were contractors and would come into my store for sales. So, blockchain can enhance the lives of trade workers by enabling them to verify their credentials, their certifications, and to actually be rewarded for having these in place. Once an NFT or a certification is put onto the blockchain, in and itself, it is value. So the current system does allow for a verification of certification and knowledge. Basically, that's what you want to do for a potential employee or a business owners. But once you have something on a blockchain that is value in itself, the possibilities for earning potential, you're in another landscape. From where it used to just be your hourly wage, now you're looking at, well, what kind of data does this person provide the system online and in the physical world? So essentially, trade work on the blockchain, you're enabling an entire new world of potential earnings for these workers.
Great, super promising.
Yeah.
And how can Web3 and Web2 be used together to enable these businesses? And how can blockchain and social media be used together to enable these businesses?
Web 2 has done a great job of giving traditional businesses not only trade, but really social media content as well and B2B. So Web 2 has done a great job of being able to connect the ideas about what these businesses want to do. And then Web 3 enables that transmission of value in a way that we've never seen before. So whereas we may have ran into so many like situations of red tape or bottlenecking or just friction in trying to get business done, it's because we're trying to mend this gap strictly using old technology. Web 2 combined with brick and mortar for banking, nightmare scenario. Web 2 for the transmission of information, plus Web 3, the transmission of value. That's where you eliminate all of that friction. And we get to see business happen in a way that we've never seen.
Mhm. Very well said. Yeah, I think, and also, in addition to credentialing, um, how can this optimize for performance evaluation or reviews, etc.? Are there any implications for that you want to speak to?
Yeah, so once something is on a blockchain and information can be added to it, such as performance, additional certifications, job history, previous employers, you have a lot more trust in the person's abilities, knowing their full background, their full history in a particular industry. And you can usually tell when meeting a person if they mean what they say and they're truly knowledgeable in the product they mean to deliver. But having this information at your fingertips is a game changer. And I think it'll allow for business and the onboarding of new employees to happen so much faster, and maybe even the relocation of employees as well. If let's say you do hire somebody and maybe it's not the right fit, there's so much that has to go into finding that employee the right business. If you have something that where it's a lot easier to transition between employer and employee, it would create an environment where the person would be able to actually say, "Hey, you know what? I tried this job. I tried this system and employment. My boss, it just wasn't for me." So they can go and find the right one. There's a lot less anxiety around the ins and outs through these businesses.
Oh yeah, well said. There's so much, especially in this economy, there's just so much to be said for that. Um, and also, do you also find that this could be beneficial for diversity and inclusion or implicit bias by, maybe just seeing a person's photo rather than their full list of credentials right in front of you?
Absolutely. I think it's really one of the only ways that a situation like that wouldn't be corrupted is if it was strictly full detailed list of history, full detailed list of abilities and certifications, verifications. And again, it would ease that process of is this person right for the job or would they be better off somewhere else?
Well said. Yeah, I mean, that brings just so much opportunity, so much to be said for that. And also, how does a traditional company benefit from adopting blockchain technology? And also, how do you explain these benefits to them?
A traditional business is really, it's almost like 50% trying to adhere to the old system and 50% being the business that they want to be. Because they're tied up with so many things like identity verification and banking and accounting, all of these businesses are mainly just trying to keep up with functioning, which is it's sad to see, knowing that there are better options. But now is a better opportunity than ever for traditional businesses to adopt this new technology and but their working capital to work for the business, not just to actually function.
Well said, well said. Very, very, interesting distinction. There's just a lot to be said for that. Um, how do you see this evolving over the next 5, 10 years? Both specifically for this use case and also the cryptocurrency landscape in general.
I see the businesses like Web3 Enabler and what you guys are doing as major players over the next 5 to 10 years. Because all of these businesses will see opportunity in blockchain, but have lacked the knowledge that most of us have accrued over the past, you know, 5, 10 years ourselves. They'll be playing catch up and will come to bigger players and will then have to adopt the technology, which is great for people that have been well positioned and well prepared. And it'll be great for these businesses as they adopt as well, as they are educated in a new world with full of new opportunities, meeting great new people like you, like me, like everybody from the Web3 enabler meeting. And and it's yeah, you know what? It is a little disappointing that more people weren't on board for this technology early on, but it'll just be the good times later on. That's all.
Really well said. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with a lot of innovation, even if you look throughout history, including the emergence of Web 2, for example, there's always a delay in adoption, but it's just a matter of when it will happen and how to be the facilitators of that knowledge transfer. And getting the diversity and the perspective behind it as far as really communicating the value, communicating what it can do,
Right.
and bringing our other expertise and applying it. Um, there's a lot that can be done, but no one person or set of people can do it alone.
No.
So,
We're in such an interesting industry as well because it really isn't something that you can just give somebody a quick rundown on. There is intensive learning. There is a bit of a curve, but if you're the type of person who likes a challenge and is always learning, then this is something that you'll be able to sink your teeth into, really have fun with it.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And I could definitely see, in working with trade workers, how much learning can just be accrued just by communicating and interacting with the different types of trade workers, learning a lot. There's so much, very specific knowledge that could be transferred. And even if you're not going to, then become an expert, you either have the service performed that you need performed, or, you just kind of learn enough to say, well, I learned something, I grew, um, I'm building upon this, just in terms of knowledge base or potentially business value. So it's just, and there are just so many types of different expertise that needs to be shared, needs to be applied. Um, the value, the value exchange. There's just so much to be said for that.
On a personal note, I do have a friend who's well versed in all trades that I can think of. And just to see that his knowledge doesn't have a direct path of being passed on, and he is skilled in things and methods that you don't see online. These were passed down from tradesman to tradesman, and it's so important to know at least a little bit about everything if you do see yourself as wanting to be someone who's capable, or to see yourself as someone who is a competent business owner, and knowledge is essential. So bringing this to the blockchain, big move, big move.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say that in a nutshell, that is the most important thing to bring because the technology will keep evolving. There will be learning resources for the technology itself, just what you're doing with it. So,
Yeah, I think what you guys are doing with Web3 Enabler is a good generalization of how mass adoption will actually come about, of making things as simple as possible, trying to take away as much potential risk from the new user as possible. And it'll be the same thing for tradesmen. It'll be the same thing for any business that's adopting this technology.
really well said. Really well said. I mean, yeah, I mean that's really ultimately the value of mastery of something or close to it and continuing to learn, as you said, because mastery is relative, as things keep evolving. So, yeah, I mean, really well said. And thank you. And it's great to just, kind of continue these discussions, continue to exchange knowledge, build our networks as far as what other entrepreneurs are doing in the space. Because sometimes it's just, it's almost like a whole different space in terms of the use case or how it's being used. Nothing's ever the same. I mean, you're certainly the first person I've seen that I've met using this for trade workers, at all. And I just that really stood out to me.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, it's just another piece of my life that I've carried with me to my next business. That's how I look at it. And I think if it's something that's organic and there really is potential, then this will just keep rolling the same way that it is from the start.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Well said. Very well said. Very inspiring. Yeah, I'm looking forward to much more discussion like this to come. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad to, come on board, and I want to help spread the word too.
Great. It's a team effort, so needed.
Absolutely. You know, from how I got started on Twitter to Zoom calls, and who knows, maybe it'll be speaker panels and so on.
Definitely. Well said. I mean, cheers to just expanding our horizons in so many facets of what we're doing. Communications channels themselves just being a major part of it. Um,
Yeah.
so, and actually, you've used quite a bit. Are there any more that you want to, kind of mention and give a shout out to as far as how those can be utilized?
As far as means of
It means,
communicating this tech,
well, communication in general, maybe how some of the trade workers are using these media communication platforms, depending. I mean,
right?
for example, I still have yet to use TikTok, but I know that a lot of entrepreneurs who are really inspiring have been using that platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So social media right now is used in a few ways. I wouldn't say so much as direct communication between workers, but I can see that changing. But what it is used for is for content and for customer onboarding. So as you create content around your product, if I'm a bricklayer, if I'm a tile worker, I would create content around my abilities and my brand, therefore getting the eyes from the potential customers. But if you have a scenario where these trade workers are using blockchain tech to actually transmit value between the customer and the worker, now it's okay. Well, it's easier now to also bring on other employees. So if you have connections online as far as ability and you're meeting more tradesmen, more customers, more clients, you can easily transfer between, okay, I need this guy on this job, I need that guy on that job. It becomes so much more seamless. And also at the same time, it becomes more connected based on the needs of the customer. You give the contractor so much more room, so much more ability to be flexible when you break down the barriers that we're seeing now.
Well said. Yeah. Continue to break down those barriers. Looking forward to it. And thank you again for joining me.
Yeah, Zoe, thank you so much for having me. Look forward to the next one.
Likewise.